This year for Public Safety Telecommunicator Appreciation Week, I want to express my appreciation for all of our BOEC employees, but during this week, especially for our telecommunicators, our call takers and dispatchers who answer the call for help every single day. And I also want you to know that I recognize each of you as first responders. And I believe that the state of Oregon needs to do the same, as well as the entire nation. Congratulations, and thank you for your dedication.
On May 14, 2020, Crystal received a call from OSP requesting Code 3 cover as they were in pursuit of a homicide suspect. Crystal astutely stayed on phone with OSP dispatch when she realized that the units were having radio difficulties, and she began relaying important information such as location of the troopers, when the suspect had started shooting at the OSP troopers, description of the new vehicle the suspect took, when he carjacked another passing motorist, when OSP had finally stopped him on westbound I-84, and his need for medical for a single gunshot wound. The suspect was taken into custody and treated at a local hospital for his wounds. During this time, Colleen was the county dispatcher when Crystal's call came in. The request from OSP ended up involving units from MCSO, GPD, and PPB. Colleen expertly coordinated with Gresham Fire, AMR, Corbett Fire, ODOT, and Lifelight to stand by at multiple strategic locations during the event. Colleen provided such a calm, professional voice amid a flurry of radio traffic during the more than 30-minute pursuit that even the officers made mention of it during their recent incident review. On August 22, 2020, Mickey received a call from a man who was feeling threatened by staff at LifeWorks and was armed with a pistol. As officers arrived and wanted to conference and to speak with him over the phone, Mickey recognized how much just the mention of police escalated him. As SWAT was called out and assessed the situation, Mickey stayed on the phone with the man, keeping him calm and talking. While normally a crisis negotiation team would be responsible for communicating with the armed subject, it quickly became clear that he only wanted to talk to Mickey. Over the next 2 hours, Mickey was able to keep him calm and develop a rapport enough that she safely conferenced in an officer on scene who smoothly took over and led to the subject's surrender without harm coming to anyone. On August 8, 2020, Kathy received a call of a home invasion in progress. After the caller screamed the address, they yelled, "Shoot him!" and then multiple gunshots were heard over the open line. Kathy expertly set up the call and then remained on the line over the next 25 minutes trying to get someone to respond to her, while also providing updates to the responders of what she could hear over the open line. In the end, officers were able to contact those involved and no one was injured. On January 1st, Jake was the East dispatcher involved in a 6-minute traffic pursuit, followed by a foot pursuit, perimeter, canine track, CERT activation, air unit activation, multiple freeway closures, and community emergency notification activation for 5 armed subjects wanted in a string of armed robberies. Jake expertly managed 69 different units on the call and handled over 1,500 radio transmissions during the 3 tense hours he was dispatching this call, resulting in all 5 subjects taken into custody safely.
January 15, 2021. Caitlin had a call transferred from Columbia County 911 with 4 people and a dog holding onto a tree while their boat was sinking in Millionaire Lake. Setting up the call using the provided latitude and longitude, Caitlin quickly ascertained what sort of position they were in. Caitlin made sure that they had their safety equipment on and a plan if the boat took on too much water if it started to sink. As responders started to get close, Caitlin had them do anything to help the crews find them. Yell, whistle, blow on their duck calls, flash cell phone lights, and eventually fire their gun to alert crews to where they were. After being on the line with them for 1 hour and 5 minutes, they were all safely rescued by the sheriff boats.
On May 29, 2020, these group of individuals were working a myriad of positions, including call takers, dispatchers, or supervisors on the initial night of the George Floyd protests that saw a crowd grow from 50 people at 1700 to between 1,000 and 1,500 in 90 minutes at Peninsula Park. The protesters marched downtown to the Justice Center. During that march, splinter groups would branch off and cause more violence and vandalize businesses. By 23:15, they had arrived at the Justice Center and left in their wake a slew of major incidents, from pedestrians struck by motor vehicles to a walk-in gunshot victim at Emmanuel Hospital. The rioters then took an extreme shift and breached the exterior of the Justice Center and jail, setting several fires in the process. Over the course of the next 6 hours, countless stores and storefronts were vandalized and destroyed. An unfathomable number of items were stolen, and fires were set to buildings, dumpsters, and even in the middle of the streets. By the time it was over, 150 police incidents, 70 fire and EMS incidents, and almost 2,000 calls had been processed by these individuals. On May 30th, 2020, these employees were working a myriad of positions, call takers, dispatchers, and supervisors on the following night of the George Floyd protest. Even the citywide curfew instituted by the mayor from 2000 to 0600 did little to stem the size of the protest. Like the previous night, some protesters fractured off and engaged in acts of violence and looting, while others started hurling full cans of bottles as well as Molotov cocktails at police over the fence erected around the Multnomah County Justice Center. Many of these people came in on their day off to help with the massive influx of calls generated by the protest on this night as well. Over a 12-hour span from 1700 to 05, 1,850 calls were answered.
November 24, 2020. Kyle was the county dispatcher when Columbia County sent a Code 3 cover request to us. They were out with a male who had a firearm and was insistent about a house belonging to him. As units arrived and moved up, they heard gunfire and pulled back. Kyle's skill as a dispatcher was on full display during the 4.5-hour-long incident, during which time he had to juggle over 30 units from over 6 different agencies, coordinate the different CERT units as they arrived, and split the net. Columbia County Sheriff's Office was able to take the subject into custody. December 24, 2020, Rob was the central dispatcher when a simple suspicious call ended with an officer being rammed by the subject and the police discharging their firearms into the truck as it sped away. Command staff was shortly on scene and started sending out multiple pages through Rob for help getting a mobile precinct and assistance with searching the area for the suspect. Rob seamlessly coordinated with the East dispatcher, synchronized a media staging area, passed on safety information to surrounding PSAPs, and notified all area hospitals in case of a walk-in gunshot victim. While Rob was still in the net, a sergeant found the suspect vehicle, which resulted in a canine track from that area and having to manage 2 different crime scenes. Rob effortlessly managed the call for over 2.5 hours, with over 60 different officers splitting the nets, securing 2 different crime scenes, and another major shift of resources when someone matching the suspect description walked into a local hospital with a gunshot wound. The suspect was unfortunately not found during this incident, but was found later. April 26, 2020, Layla was the central dispatcher when Washington County informed us that they were in pursuit of a vehicle that had attempted to ram one of their deputies. The subject bailed out of the vehicle in our county, which facilitated a response of multiple officers, a canine, a sergeant, and the air unit. Since this was Washington County's call originally, Layla did an expert job of monitoring both nets and ensuring a smooth relay of information. After noticeable radio issues, the Washington County units then came over to Layla's net. Without the ability to track them on CAD-map or the radio marquee, Layla still did an outstanding job managing the net, which allowed the officers to apprehend the subject.
On April 3, 2020, Michelle received a call of a 2-week-old baby who was choking. The baby was turning purple and gasping for air. Within a minute, she had given the caller backflow instructions from the infant choking pre-arrival sequence card, which started to effectively clear the baby's airway. After instructing the caller to clear out the mouth of the baby and deliver several backblows, the baby started breathing and color returned to normal. Michelle did a remarkable job on this call. She remained calm and confident on the phone and while providing life-saving instructions. We learned later the baby was transported to the hospital to be evaluated and is doing well. On September 15, 2020, Emily helped guide a first-time father and mother through childbirth. Shortly after Emily had set the call up, the head was already showing. Emily guided him through the process, ensuring the baby was born as safely as possible, while not overwhelming the new father with too much information. Emily's professionalism, compassion, and clear communication were on full display during this call.
Hello, my name is Mike Myers, your new Community Safety Transition Director. As we acknowledge Telecommunicators Week, I want to thank all of the staff at the Bureau of Emergency Communications for the dedication and professionalism you show our community every day. We are proud to have first responders like you at the entry point of our 911 system. Thank you.
Thank you to our partners at BOIC. You are a crucial role to our team and we value you.
Hey, from PSR1, we just wanted to say thank you to all the call intakers and dispatchers at BOIC.
You guys are great. Thanks for everything.
Partners at BOIC, happy National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. You're an important part of the work we do, and we appreciate you. Thanks.
On behalf of Port Street Response Team,
happy National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
Thank you for keeping our officers safe. You're an important asset to our team and to our community. We appreciate everything you do.
Hello, BOIC dispatchers, call takers, administrators, and supervisors. I want to let you know how grateful we are at Portland Fire for the work you do every single day. I know that you are a vital link when it comes to the emergency response system, and we could not do what we do when it comes to saving lives without your critical role. Not only are you the link between the public needing help, but you are our link too when we are in the field. And so I just want to let you know how grateful we are and appreciative. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Copy that. Thank you all. You guys have been great for us during our pilot. Thank you from Portland Street Response.
Thank you for everything that you do. We can't do our jobs without you, and we truly appreciate you.
Hi, Portland City Commissioner Mengus Mapps here. I just wanted to take a moment to reach out to all the dispatchers and call takers over at BOEC to thank you for your work and to wish you a happy National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. I want you to know that I see the work that you do. I know how challenging this work is, and I know how good you are at getting this work done, and I am grateful for your labor. Our dispatchers and call takers are crucial and at times overlooked members of Portland's public safety system. You work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and every day you save lives here in Portland. Thank you for keeping Portland safe, and please take care of yourselves and each other.
It's my honor to be able to read this proclamation on behalf of our good folks in our first response system. Whereas emergencies require police, fire, or medical services which occur at any time, and whereas prompt police, fire, or medical response is critical to the protection of life and the preservation of property, and whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Bureau of Emergency Communications, BOEC, are the first contact for our community's call for help for emergency services. And whereas BOEC public safety telecommunicators are professionals with expertise in medical, fire, police, and now Portland Street Response dispatch protocols. And whereas BOEC public safety telecommunicators monitor police and fire activity by radio, thus ensuring first responder safety and providing a vital link of information. And whereas we are grateful for the important and often life-saving work accomplished by BOEC public safety telecommunicators. Now therefore, I, Ted Wheeler, Mayor of the City of Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses, do hereby proclaim the week of April 11th through April 17th, 2021 as Public Safety Telecommunicators Appreciation Week in Portland, and encourage all residents to observe this day. Thank you all for the great work that you do. And colleagues, that is the proclamation. There is a resolution related to this. Keelan, is there any public testimony on the resolution?
No one signed up.
Any further discussion on the resolution, colleagues, before I call the roll? Please call the roll.
Ryan.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Wheeler. Thank you, Commissioner Mapps, for bringing this proclamation and resolution forward. And I also really appreciate the memorial moment that we had for Frank Gray. Thank you for that, Commissioner Mapps. Director Causey, it's always good to see you. And I agree, our first responders have been on the front lines of not only this pandemic that we're currently experiencing, but on multiple crises our city has faced within the last year. Thank you, City of Portland responders, for your service. You are the first responders of the first responders, and your dedication to the safety of our communities. I'm also happy to support policy that recognizes telecommunicators as first responders. This group is often the first line of engagement, as we just heard, for our community members at times of emergency. These employees are quick to assess a phone call, calm, negotiate, advise, and provide instruction to community members to obtain accurate and essential information necessary to establish priority and initiate a timely response. These telecommunicators are tasked with major responsibilities and should be recognized as such. I proudly vote aye.
Maps.
I would want to take this moment to thank my colleague, Commissioner Ryan, for his thoughtful remarks. I also want to recognize the wise and kind leadership of Director Causey, and I want to thank everyone in our BOIC family for the work that they do to keep Portlanders safe. It is for those reasons that I am proud to vote aye.
Rubio.
Thank you, Mayor Wheeler and Commissioner Maps, for bringing this proclamation forward, and I also appreciated the special acknowledgement for Mr. Gray. Leaders like that in our community are very important and make a huge difference in lives. Our city's emergency telecommunicators are heroes who play a very instrumental and crucial role in crisis response, and their work is both very precise and requiring sound judgment in making those split-second decisions that can be a matter of life or death for the community. And their work is especially important to the impact of the new Portland Street Response Program, as well as our telecommunicators help determine when a mental health professional is in need in that situation. So that is another special skill set that they have. I want to give my sincere appreciation to all the staff that show up every single day in support of our community in this critical way. Thank you for your service. I vote aye.
Wheeler.
I am glad that we're taking these steps, and as many people are aware, communications first responders are not at this point elevated to the same classification as other first responders. That is an active discussion both here locally, and it's my understanding it is also a discussion nationally. And so I think this is a timely resolution, and the proclamation, I think, was appropriate to acknowledge the incredibly challenging work that our telecommunicators do at BOIC. It's really been a heck of a year for them. They've worked long hours. They've done a terrific job of triaging limited resources. And there's no question the work that they're engaged in prevents injuries and it saves lives. And I'm deeply grateful for the work they do. And just on a sort of personal note, if you haven't had a chance yet to go into BOIC and do a test drive with the good folks there, sit down with them for a few minutes and see what it is they actually do. It'll give you a whole new appreciation for the work they do. I'm happy to vote aye. The resolution is adopted, and thank you all for your work. Director Causey, please give our good regards to the people back at BOIC.